Good morning and welcome to the Ops Room. These are a monthly session, a really informal monthly session, just an open Q&A for whoever comes in and says hi. You can ask me anything you like from, what should my website be? How do I automate something? What kind of marketing do I need? Um, what lead magnet can I build with Claude? Anything and everything that you want to ask. Uh, so Let's just give it a minute and see if anyone's going to jump on. I'm going to check the LinkedIn event for any comments or queries, any questions that have come in. I have had a few questions come in from two people in America. I didn't know I had quite the following in America, but there you go. Obviously, they're not going to be able to jump on because of the time difference. Okay, so no new comments on the LinkedIn event. Well, let me just go to my LinkedIn messages and see if I've had any more questions sent through. Nope. Okay, nope, nothing there. Great. Alrighty. So no one's jumped on, which isn't a problem at all. I've got a couple of questions to go through. These will take 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. And if we get through all of those and no one's jumped on live, then all I'll do is I'll just mute up and turn off my camera. And wait for someone to come on. I'm here from 11 till 12. I do this on the last Thursday of every month. If you want to join it, I'll pop the link in the comments because these are now going to, the replays are being hosted on YouTube. What's that message just come in? Ah, right. No, that's not about this. Great. Okay. So where did I hide the questions? Uh, mm, mm, mm. Great. There we go. Okay, so this has come in from a lady called Labiba. She is in Massachusetts. Massachusetts. I never know how to say it if I'm saying it. Massachusetts. Very nice. Okay. Right. Thank you, Labiba. So, I keep meaning to set up automations, but I don't know where to start. What's the first thing I should automate? Great question. So, yeah, a lot of people are like, what should I automate? What should I automate? What tool? What tool can I get to automate my business? And that's definitely looking in the wrong place first. So what I would suggest is that actually let's jump on a whiteboard. No, do we need a whiteboard? No. What I would suggest is that you track everything you're doing for, ideally kind of a week, minimum 2, 3 days. Track everything that you're doing. Big, small, complicated, simple. Track all the tasks that you're doing. And then rate them in order of expense. So actually, we will jump onto a whiteboard. Let me show you what I mean. Oh, good. Zoom's changed its whiteboard again. Lovely. Okay, so we're going to track our tasks. So we might be doing email. We might be doing follow up. We might be do. There's a better way to do this. Yeah, great. So we've got email. Yeah, we've got let's say we're doing sales calls. Maybe we're also doing follow up. You're CPA, so you're probably doing some kind of proposals or maybe an LOE. Well, what else are you going to be doing? Let me see, you're booking calls. Okay, so you're going to be booking calls with clients and you're going to be booking calls with um sales calls, sales. What else? What else? What else do you do in a day? The Bieber. Okay, so you're going to be doing some kind of finance for your business. You're going to be doing the work, aren't you? You're going to be doing client work. You're going to be doing marketing. You can see where I'm going with this. All right. So you've got, a whole list of things that you're doing. And then what I would do is I would have a look at how much each of these things is, let's not do that, how much each of these things is worth. Okay. So email is, yeah, actually, you're in America. So let's use the dollar symbol. Uh, Email is a pretty low value task, isn't it? Okay. Sales calls, they're a high value task. Follow up, um, it could lead to a lot of value, but the activity in and of itself is pretty low value. Your proposals, again, pretty low value. Booking calls, depending on how you do this, this might be manual, this might be, making calls to book telephone calls. These are all pretty low value things as well, aren't they? Um, your business finance. Now, some people view this as an administrative task. I don't. I think you need to be intimately involved in the finance of your business. Client work, that's pretty high value. And then marketing. Yeah, let's go there. Okay, so you can see now we've got an approximate value, for each of these tasks. Now, when I say approximate value, this is, think about how much you would pay someone to do these kinds of tasks. So you wouldn't need a founder to do your email, like a VA could do your email. So VAs don't get paid. I mean, they're invaluable, but they don't get paid a great deal of money compared to you as a founder. Sales calls, they're pretty important. Like you would pay a salesperson quite a lot of money to host your sales calls for you. So that's a high value task. Follow up. Okay, so your salesperson could do your follow up, or you could get your VA to do that. So that's a low value task. So you can see how I'm approximating the costs here of the individual tasks. Okay. So having looked then at all of these, we can say, right, I want to automate these low value tasks. How can we? I don't, well, not that we want to automate them actually. We want you to stop doing these low value tasks. Okay. And actually, when you think about automate could be a tool or it could be a person, it could be a system. So don't just think about automate in the terms of I need to get a tool that's going to do this for me. Automating just means you're not doing it. So it could be a person, it could be a tool, it could be a process or a system that streamlines it and makes it, condenses the task. So when we talk about automating, that's what I'm talking about, at least anyway. So we've got email, we've got follow-up, we've got proposals, we've got booking clients, and we've got booking sales calls. So these are low value tasks that you're currently doing manually that we could automate. So that is how I would identify what to automate first, what tasks need automating. And then in order to decide which one you automate first, uh, maybe which one of these is consuming most of your time. That might be follow up. It might be writing letters of engagement. It might be just wading through your email. So whichever one of these is consuming most of your time, Then we look at the different ways that we can automate it, and you decide on the one that fits best for you. So if we were going to automate our email, for example, there's currently two ways that we could do that. So one is going to be an AI tool. So you could use Claude Cowork, for example. The second is going to be someone else. So that might be a VA. Okay. If we're going to look at our, not that, if we were going to have a look at our follow-up, then there's a few different ways you could do that as well. So you could use a system like GHL or my white label version of GHL, which I've customized for accountants and CPAs and bookkeepers and service professionals. So you could do that, which is going to automate your follow-up. It'll send emails and texts and video and make sure that people keep you front of mind after you've had a call with them. Or you could actually, yep, I've already got that. Or you could get someone else to do it. Our proposals and our letters of engagement. So again, you could use a tool like Go High Level or Up Level, or that you could use a different tool. You could use something like Go Proposal. You could use something like Practice Ignition. That's going to take care of all of those for you. So once you've had a look at how you can automate, you then make the decision based on a few different things. So you decide based on one, trust. Do you trust the person? Do you trust the process? Do you trust yourself to stick to it? So if you're using a tool, you have to trust the tool's going to do it well. Otherwise, you'll always be playing around with it and it's not going to save you any time at all. If you're hiring a person, you have to trust that that person's going to be able to do that job for you. Otherwise, you're going to micromanage them. They're going to get annoyed. You're going to get annoyed. It's going to become a difficult relationship. The task may or may not be done properly. If you're using a process, you have to trust that A, you're going to follow the process, and B, trust the process works. So we need to decide based on trust. We need to decide based on cost. Can you afford for someone else to do it? Can you afford a tool that's going to do it? Can you afford to create a system that's going to do it? So each of those three processes, each of those three options have an inherited cost. It's going to be someone's wage. You might pay someone to create the process for you. It's going to be the investment of your time to create the process. It's going to be the investment of your time to train the person as well as pay them. So trust, cost, and then the third thing is use. Will you actually use it? I see a lot of people paying for tools that they don't use or only partially use. So it's really, really important to make sure that you're going to use it. Now, part of using it is that you have to enjoy it. Otherwise, you're never going to log into it. You're never going to use this tool because it's a pain, because it's a hassle, because you don't quite understand it. So you have to pick a tool that you enjoy using. Otherwise, you're not going to get any value from it. It's just going to be another cost and another point of friction in your business. So they're the three factors you have to consider when you're making your decision on how to automate something. Okay, so this is a really long-winded answer, Labiba. Sorry. So we've got your question. I keep meaning to set up automations, but I don't know what I should automate. So you automate low-value tasks, which you identify by tracking everything you do for at least a couple of days, ideally a week or more. Once you've identified the tasks, you then have to choose how you're going to automate. Is it going to be a tool? That might be an AI tool. It might be a tool like Go Proposal or Go High Level or Up Level. Is it going to be a process? So are you going to systemize what you're doing in order to condense the amount of time that it takes? Or are you going to get someone else to do it for you? They're the three ways that you can, very, very simplified. They're the three ways that you can automate a task. And then in order to make the decision of how you're going to automate it, you consider these three factors. Will you trust it? Can you afford it? And will you use it? So that is how I would, that's how I would decide what to automate. Okay. And that's the whole process. So I hope that makes sense. If you've got any questions on that, do just jump in and let me know. More than happy to continue the conversation around that, Labiba. Okay. So next question. Everyone says build a system, but my business changes every few months. How do you build something that won't stay still? Okay, so this is from Jessica. Hi, Jessica. Everyone says build a system, but my business changes every few months. How do I build for something that won't stay still? Good question. Okay, so let me answer this with a question. Does it actually stay still? And do systems stay still? Let me clarify what I mean there. When you build something, let's say you build an appointment funnel, for example, that's not going to stay as a static thing. Like, we need to be constantly evolving our systems, and maintaining is a better word. Maintaining is a better word. If you think of a system like a car, you have to pay attention to your vehicle in order for it to run properly and keep you safe and get you from A to B. Okay. You need to put air in the tires, you need to change the oil, you need wiper fluid, you need to get it serviced every now and then. You need to get it repaired if it breaks down, but if you do all the right things, it won't break down. You need to learn how to operate it properly. Um, you need to personalize it, get your little dashboard, wing mirror dice, get your little car smell thing happening, whatever you want to do. So if you think of a system like a car, you buy that car and then you do a lot to it. It doesn't stay as you bought it, does it? You maintain it, you personalize it, you run it how you want to run it. You take it where you want to take it. So when we're saying build a system for your business, and I don't know exactly what people are saying to you. Everyone says build a system, but your business changes every few months. The system wouldn't necessarily need to change in its entirety. It would just be the maintenance that you would be doing even if your business didn't change. For example, if you jump on my website and you book a call with me in my calendar has stayed the same for, I don't know, 6, 8, 9 months now. The same name, the same blurb. The reminders that you get when you book a call with me change almost every month, because I'm constantly looking for ways to optimize that, make sure that people show up and that they have all their questions already answered and they know what to expect and that they're feeling comfortable and they're feeling confident. And so I change that appointment sequence pretty consistently. Is it an email? Is it a text message? Is it a video? Do they get a PDF? Do they get a Google Doc? So my business is changing as well. But the system is capable of processing, accepting, evolving all of those changes. And in fact, the system encourages those changes because I can see how well email one was performing now, as opposed to how well it was performing 6 months ago. The open rate is the new subject line, better or worse. Are people clicking more or less now that I've changed the name of the hyperlink? So I think you're coming at this from slightly the wrong way. So when you're building a business, it's not going to be, when you're building a system, the system is not going to be set in stone. Perhaps the structure of the system will be set in stone, but all the individual pieces will be accepting of change. You know what I mean? Fly. So the decisions within the system, or your decision logic, or your system structure, however you want to phrase that, won't change, but the individual parts might evolve. And I think having a system in place would help A, monitor, and B, optimize the performance of a business that's constantly changing or a business that's constantly evolving, because you'll have some kind of structure there in place to support you, as opposed to you having to do everything yourself all the time, over and over, particularly as your business iterates. So yeah, people say build a system, and I think they're probably right. I think if you were to, let's jump back onto the whiteboard. Okay, so let's. Nope. There we go. Great. I think if you were to look at your business as a whole, and we've got inputs and we've got outputs. So everything in here, you're probably going to have, step 1 and step 2 and step 3 and step 4 and step 5. So much better writing on an iPad than I am using this little mouse thing. So you're probably going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, however many steps in the middle of your business. Okay. But, clients come in and work goes out. And then what you do in the middle is adaptable. And maybe even the clients change, and maybe even the output changes. But, your business is going to exist in some kind of box. So you could look at automating or building a system for some of the steps, or building a system to house. So maybe you're housing one step, or maybe you're housing multiple steps, or maybe your system houses all of the steps. But as your inputs and your outputs change, you can adapt the different systems within the business. Does that make sense? I'm not entirely sure I'm getting my point across entirely, but I suppose the point I'm trying to make here is that having a structure in place, having a system in place, will only be an advantage to your evolving business, to your changing business, if it's built in the right way. Because the way that you think, because that's all we're doing, we're just automating your thinking and automating your hands and systemizing your hands and your thinking. The way that you think and the way that you do things, that won't change. Just the inputs and the outputs will change. These decisions that you make, these tasks that you do, these steps in the process, these different cogs in the wheel, whatever you want to say there, they are unlikely to change. So you can definitely systemize this bit, perhaps not the entry and exits, the input and the output. Okay, I hope that makes sense. I hope I've got that across, because it might be that when your business changes, all you need to do is update step 3, for example, because the rest hasn't changed. Or maybe you update 3, 4, and 5, but 1, 2, and 6 stay the same. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So I hope that answers your question. Just message me on LinkedIn. I mean, you already have. You sent me these questions anyway. If you want to go through it anymore, or if you're watching this on YouTube and you want to dive into this a little bit more, just leave a comment and I'll get back to you. Okay. So Jessica has another question. How do I know if my website is the problem or if I'm not getting enough traffic to it? Oh, blast. I wish I'd seen this before. Okay, so I think what you're asking is, my website isn't giving me enough leads. Is the website the problem, or is the traffic the problem, or I'm not getting enough inquiries? That's the phrase you would use, I'm sure. So I suppose we need to have a look then at how it's currently performing. And if I'm completely wrong about this question, then let me know. But I think you're asking, I'm not getting enough inquiries from my website. Is the website the problem, or am I not getting enough traffic? So without knowing all of the details, these are the questions I would ask. how many people land on your site in a week? How many inquiries do you get in a week or in a month? Let's say a month. So how many website visitors do you get in a month, and how many inquiries do you get in a month? If you're getting 1,000 visitors and you're getting 30 inquiries, that's fine. If you're getting 1,000 visitors and you're getting 3 inquiries, that's probably a little bit low. So what we would need to do then is, well, and this is very broad brush. This is very simplified. Assuming that you're getting, let's stick with 1,000. Assuming you're getting 1,000 website visitors a month and you're getting 0 to 1 inquiries a month, then I would be frustrated with that number. I would like to see that lifted. If you're getting 1,000 visitors a month, then like, what's a good number here? 10? Because you have to remember, not everybody that goes to your website is ready to buy now. So I'm very glad I chose to have a whiteboard. Cannot wait to get my iPad fixed. Okay, so not everybody's ready to buy now. So let's say we have, okay, so this is your 1,000 website visitors in a month. Okay, so only, and this is statistically proven over time, only 3% of those people are ready now. That's it, 3%. So 3% of 1,000 is what, 30? Yeah. So that's 30 people. I don't know what I was trying to write there. Okay. And if my maths is wrong, just let me know. So 3% of those are ready now. So that's 30 people a month ready to go. I cannot exactly recall what the rest of the percentages are. I know 50% will never buy anything from you. They might send you a referral. They might say, oh, I found this website. You should have a look. But they're not going to buy anything from you. Okay, so that's a big chunk. But these are the guys that, if we're talking about how many inquiries we're getting from our website a month, these are the people that we need to be thinking about. So if you're getting 0 to 1 and you're getting 1,000 visitors, then yeah, we can look. I mean, there's a few different variables. One, where are these people coming from? What's the source that they're coming from? Are they coming from a Google search? Are they coming from your Instagram? That makes a difference. But let's assume that they're coming from quality sources. I would certainly think that 0 to 1 is a little bit low. Of your 30%, I would like to see probably 3 to 5. So what's that? 10 to 15%, 10 to 15. So 3 to 4.5, 3 to 5 inquiries a month. Quite simply because these people are ready to take action. So if you're getting 0 to 1, then it is your website that's the problem. If you have 100 website visits a month and you're not getting any inquiries, then that's going to be probably a traffic problem. You might get maybe you've got 100 visitors and you're getting 0 to 1 inquiries a month, then that would be fine. But if you've got 1,000 and you're getting 0 to 1, then that's low. I would expect 3 to 5. Okay. I hope that answers that question. I suppose to extend from that, we would need to have a look at, so reasons. Okay, let me reverse. What are the reasons that people might not be making inquiries? Okay, well, there's a few. Let me use one of these things so I can just write. There we go. Okay, so reasons people might not be making an inquiry are they don't recognize themselves on the site. Wow, that's really small. How did that happen? um, it it might not be obvious, or you might not be asking them to inquire. I don't mean any offense to people, but people need to be told what to do. Some might say that people are stupid. If it's not quick and easy, particularly now, if it isn't quick and easy, then people tend to bounce away. So it needs to be fairly obvious, and you need to tell them. We need to have what's called a call to action. So, do you have call to actions on your website? Inquire now, book here, talk to Jessica. Are those things present on your website? If not, then that could be a very quick win for you. What's another reason? I mean, there's quite a lot of different reasons that we could look at here. Um, but if we're just talking about the content on the site, it needs to be speaking to the website visitor. A big challenge that we see with service providers is they like to talk about themselves and the service that they provide, rather than the website visitor and the problems that they have come to get solved. So if your website is all about, Bob the Builder, and my name's Bob, and I build stuff, and I'm from Bobland, and I live in Bob Avenue, and I'm really good at bobbing and building, then, very quickly, people are going to be like, well, thanks, Bob, and they're going to leave. Whereas if they visit Bob the Builder's site and it says, I'm Bob the Builder, and I help people like you get better buildings done. I build these things and those things and these whatsits and those widgets. And people that need those whatsits and widgets are like, boom, Bob's the guy for me. That's just the widget I need. And so they talk to Bob. So that's what I mean when I say they don't recognize themselves on the site. You need to be talking to them and their problems and their experience rather than about you and your service. It might not be obvious. You might not be asking them to inquire. So, do you have clear, visible call to action buttons that make it nice and easy? Do you ask people to book that call, to fill in the form, to pick up the phone, whatever the thing is for your inquiries? It doesn't say in your question, sorry. Um, if you're not asking them, they're less likely to do it. Okay, we need to clearly lay these things out for people. But recognize them, but we're not asking them. And then I suppose the third thing. Okay, so it could be design, but then that comes into, well, for me, that comes a little bit into, it might not be obvious. It could be technical issues, like it doesn't load quickly enough. People get really annoyed if things aren't super fast these days. So we need to make sure that our websites load quickly. If it takes too long, they're just going to leave and go to the next one on Google. Another reason that people could be visiting your site and not booking an inquiry. Yeah, I suppose because it's not. I would say it's not conversion focused. Um, so which would mean, I suppose, it's confusing. So when I say conversion focused, I mean each page has one job. Okay, so the homepage, for example, its job is to let people know they're in the right place. Yeah, pretty simple, pretty standard. But that's why it needs to talk about the website visitor and the challenges that they're having, and then provide options for wherever they are in the journey here. If they're in the 3%, then there needs to be that book a call option. If they're in, I cannot remember the exact percentages. I think it's something like 7, and then we've got 40 here. So these guys are now. These guys are in 6 to 12 months, and these guys are in 3 to 6 months. So we need to have different things available for them. So let's change color. So these guys, we need a CTA, a call to action for an inquiry. Yeah. These guys, they know they have a problem, but they're not quite sure who's going to solve it. We need to establish your authority. so that they see you as the solution. And these guys, they are getting, they're not sure they have a problem, but they're interested in this area. They don't recognize they have a problem yet. They have a frustration, but they haven't recognized it as a problem. So these guys, we need to nurture them and build that relationship. Okay. So, whoa, there we go. Thought that light might go. 2 seconds. Great. Yeah. So then we have. So these guys need to get. I'm sure you've heard this before. These guys need to get to know you. These guys need to get to like you, and these guys need to trust you enough to make that inquiry. Okay. So they're the on your homepage when people need to recognize them on this site, and then you give them 3 options, one for each stage of where they are. So this is going to be book a call, this might be watch my video, and this might be download my thing or follow me on YouTube or connect with me on Instagram so that they can get to know you a little bit more. Okay. So that's the homepage. So each page has one job. That's conversion focused. Okay. Contact page has one job: get people to fill in a form. Book a call page has one job: get people to book an appointment. Services page has one job: let people recognize themselves in the problems you solve. So not talking about how I build websites, for example. I build really good websites. I build them on WordPress or Go High Level, and I build them fast and pretty and blah blah blah. It's I build websites that make you more money. Oh, I want a website that makes me money. Boom. I'm going to talk to this guy. So everything is visitor focused rather than service provider focused. You're talking about them, you're talking to them, with them. It's eyes and yous. Um, that's a really long-winded answer to your question. So I hope that makes sense. Is my website the problem, or is it that I'm not getting enough traffic to it? So I made quite a few assumptions there based on the question, and then try to answer them as best I could. So I hope that kind of covers what you wanted there, Jessica. Okay. Um, do I have another question? I think I saw one on Facebook. No, no. Okay. Right. So that's all the questions that I've got to answer today. It's still only 16 minutes to 12, so we've still got another quarter of an hour. What I'm going to do is I'm going to mute up. I'm going to turn off my camera so that if anyone does want to jump on in the next 15 minutes, I'm here to go through those questions with them or just have a chat. And if no one does, well, then I'll end this call in 15 minutes and I'll chop it up and I'll put it on YouTube so people can watch the replay. And obviously, Jessica and Labiba, I will direct you to the answers to your questions. Okay. Alrighty.